Om Shanti. Hi, beautiful souls. How are you? So, the world is heading where? So, there's a famous TV show that actually resolves the cheating issue using the lie detector and DNA test. So, let me give you 3 examples and then you can find out for yourself where the world is heading onto. Let's say the protagonists of these 3 cases, let's call them hero and heroine. Okay, and the first example, in one segment, the heroine accuses her husband, the hero, to be cheating on her with his ex, and also he is having an affair with the escorts that he finds online, and he is posting on dating sites, and also he is having erotic conversations, exchanging nude pictures with his ex. So she is saying this with proof. She has a screenshot from the WhatsApp messages, and also she comes with a divorce paper. If the hero fails the test, fails the lie detector test, that's it. I'm moving out of him, out of his life forever. And for that, the mediator of the program asked the question to the hero whether he has an affair with his ex, he's still continuing with his ex. He says no. Then the mediator asks, how about the messages she has bought? And the hero replies that it is from the past. I no longer have any sort of connection with the ex. And when he was asked about his post on the dating sites, even for that, the hero replies back that it was also from the past. He is completely clean now. So, to his surprise, the mediator of the program invited his ex to the program. And she has a surprise for both of them, for the hero and his wife. She says that they actually were in the same program before the last time he cheated. So he was saying that he had no connection with her since the last program. But this ex reveals the fact that he is continuing with her, he visits her quite often, he has sex with her quite often. And also, she reveals that she is not the only one he is having an affair with. He also has another girl accompanied him while taking his daughter from the school. And also, he definitely sleeps with the escorts. So now, the mediator of the program brings the result, lie detector result, which says the hero's answer to the question whether he is continuing his affair with his ex is a lie, which means he is sleeping with her. And he fails all the question, which means he was basically lying to the question whether or not he was sleeping with the escort, whether he was having affair with another girl. He failed all the questions. And his ex, who revealed those secrets, was found to be true by the lie detector test. And the wife of the heroine, she gets furious and she says she'll definitely file for the divorce. He is no longer a part of her life. So that's an example. And in another episode, this is a very interesting segment where the heroine, she already made multiple visits to this particular program in search of the father for her child. She brought 17 men who eventually failed the test. That is, they failed the test of being her father. They all failed the DNA test. During the end of each result, the heroine just crumbles on the floor. It was so heartbreaking that she couldn't find the father for her child, the lady child, the female child. I was really surprised by the fact, obviously the men whom she had sex with during the month of conception should be the father of her child. And she brings 17 men. So she had sex with 17 men within a month time. But still the list continues because they are not even the father. But this time her husband, the hero, wanted to convey a secret that he's been hiding from her. So the secret is he's been having an affair with her daughter, for whom she has been searching for the father for several years. Not only that, she has born child of him, which means the hero has made the daughter of his wife pregnant. And on hearing this, she just broke down. Actually, the daughter has a boyfriend, but still the child doesn't look anything like him. So that's why she suspected her stepfather to be the father of her child. But the DNA test failed him, which means the hero is not the father of the child of her stepdaughter. So this is the condition of the world, not only in America. This is the case globally. And in another example, the heroine finds her husband cheating on her with citing some evidences like finding condoms on the dustbin, and she finds him leaving "I love you" cookie underneath the door of her neighbor. And also she finds many of her things missing in her home. And also she heard from her neighbors that he is bringing some strange girls to his home. And also one day he came with a filthy smell that she never smelt in her lifetime. So it was more like a rotten, fishy smell. And also she suspects that he has sex with the toilet cleaner of their house. So these are the accusations she put on him. And her cousin supports it. But the husband denies it abruptly. He says everything is just her imagination. And he placing the cookies underneath the neighbor's door is just a friendly gesture and nothing more than that. And when the host of the program asked whether the charges against him, like having sex with the toilet cleaner or having sex with the neighbor girl or bringing stranger girls to the home while the wife was away from home, he just refuses all the accusations. And when he gets the lie detector test, he failed all the tests, which means he lied to all the questions. Which means, of course, he had sex in his room with some strange girls and also the neighbor girl and also the toilet cleaner, their servant. So these things happen in America. But I think things far worse than that happens in India as well. In recent years, we can find many examples where a girl kills her husband along with her boyfriend. And a guy kills a wife because he's in an affair with another girl. And a girl kills her own child because she finds her as a hindrance to their affair, their extramarital affair. And in another example, a girl left her husband and she actually has an affair with somebody because of which the husband throws her out of the house. So she starts living with another man she was in an affair with, along with her daughter. After some time, that man, he wants to have sex with her daughter. So she compels the girl to marry her daughter with him, and she tortures her with that, and finally the daughter comes out to the police station and files a complaint against him. Also, in another American TV show, a girl who was born to a man actually has an affair with him, with her own father, own biological father. They get eventually married and they even give rise to a baby. So here in India, many illegal affairs lead to either suicide or the murder of someone involved. A guy was in an affair with a girl before marriage, and he continues that even after his marriage. And the lover calls his wife and reveals this secret. because of which this wife gets emotionally hurt. And when she was asking her husband to stop it, he said he would definitely continue that and she can do whatever she wish. And after several arguments and fights, she finally committed suicide in front of the camera. So these kind of things has become the daily news globally. And in some cases in India, they, due to circumstances like the death of her first husband or due to divorce, she gets married to another man. She has a kid from the first husband. After their marriage, she gives birth to some children with her second husband. What happens as a result is he treats the child of the first husband very badly. He tortures him. So that makes the mother feel so bad about getting married to this second guy. So this is something that's pretty common. Same is the case when a guy with a child marries another woman. So even she treats badly her child. Not only that, sometimes she has an affair with his child. And also in that case, the man has an affair with the stepdaughter. So this seems everywhere. The world gets so corrupted, it couldn't think of anything other than physical relationship. What is the reason for all this? Because humans have become addicted to sex. So they have become addicted at a very early age when they start getting disturbed by the opposite sex. They don't even have the habit of seeing the opposite sex, but still the very proximity of them makes the mind disturbed. They couldn't focus on studies. So that is the red signal. So something is wrong, but unfortunately the media and the society we live in all brainwashes us into thinking that it is normal. It is okay to see the opposite sex with lust as long as there's nothing physical happening between you till you reach 18. And it is okay to even get physical after 18. That is the main reason for all these things, because deep down their mind is so convinced that sex is good, acceptable. That is the reason. That is not the only reason, and another reason is the mind has already carried lust within them from their past birth. So that in addition to the society standards make him become more and more addicted to sex. All she wants is sex. It doesn't bother whether the opposite sex is married or unmarried, whether it's major or minor, or even a child, or a transgender, or someone that is forbidden by society to get married, like sister, mother, father, child. So it trespasses all the borders. All it wants is sex. And the media feeds their corrupted mind, making it more and more corrupted. At one point, like the examples I have mentioned, you will feel you are surrounded by more problems that you cannot come out of it. Even if you do, you will still again go back to getting more and more problems for yourself because of your addiction to sex. How to come out of it permanently? By removing the thought that sex is okay and putting in the thought that sex is wrong, no matter whether it is a slight temptation or deep temptation that one puts into action of getting physical with the opposite sex or the same sex in case of homosexuals. In that case, people would think if there is no sex, then how would the population grow? No need to worry about it because the world is going to end. That is why the sins accumulate so much, because it is only after the accumulation of sins to a certain level God will destroy the world, because he needs a reason to destroy the world, right? Why is the world getting destroyed? Because this world needs to get converted to heaven, because that's how God created this world in the beginning, that is before 5,000 years. This world continues to be heaven for the first 2,500 years, followed by the hell for the last 2,500 years, and God comes in the end, 100 years before the destruction of the old world. So the world will definitely become heaven within few years. But whether or not we become eligible to enter heaven lies on our hands. It depends on our effort to become eligible to enter heaven. What is the eligibility? We need to possess the qualities that we originally possessed in the beginning while in heaven. While in heaven, we were not aware of these vices like lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. So we would be peaceful, blissful, and pure, and wealthy, and ever healthy. There would be no sign of any sorrow or suffering of any kind for the first 2,500 years. It would be filled with gold and diamonds. Everyone there would be very rich. Nonetheless, there wouldn't be any windows or doors, because they don't know what stealing or cheating is. That's the kind of world God creates for us every 5,000 years once. And just before the creation of heaven, God comes in the hell and gives us this knowledge to become the resident of heaven again. How do we do that? God says it is only by becoming body consciousness in hell that you become addicted to these 5 vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. But while you were in heaven, you were soul conscious. You considered yourselves to be the imperishable soul that shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, which is why Hindus have the habit of wearing a red dot in between the eyebrows to mark the symbol of the life energy, the soul. we considered ourselves to be the souls naturally for the first 2500 years, and we see others as souls, because of which we don't get attracted to the external attractions, because we would be the embodiment of blissfulness, because the soul, that's the very nature of the soul. So everything we experience every single second for the first 2500 years is nothing but blissfulness and peacefulness. Whatever we see gives happiness, whatever we listen gives happiness. But now that's totally in reverse. Whatever we see gives pain, whatever we hear gives pain. We feel as if we can end our life right away. Such is the kind of pain we experience daily. So God has come to rescue us from this land of sorrow. He wants us to forget this land, forget everything that is associated with this land, including your body. This is not the original body God gave us in the beginning. That was the kind of body that was very beautiful, very healthy. But now, due to many sins that we had committed for the past 2500 years, we end up getting this diseased body. So we need to get rid of the attachment towards everything in this world, including our body and other bodily beings. How do we do that? By considering ourselves to be the soul that is separate from this body. Body is perishable, while as we souls are imperishable. But the soul is filled with sin, sinful thoughts, which we need to get rid of. The way to do that is to remember God as a point of light as much as possible, because He is also a soul just like us. The only difference between we souls and God is we enter this birth and death cycle that lasts for 5,000 years, while the God stays away from this. But He comes in the end anyway to give this knowledge, but He doesn't take birth like us. So He enters an old man's body directly to give this knowledge, and He names that old man as Brahma. And He gives this knowledge called Murli, that is available totally free of cost in all Raja Yoga meditation centers across the globe. Also, it is available in all languages in many websites and many YouTube videos. I will give the link of some of the videos and websites in the description below this video. Make use of them, because that is the only knowledge directly from God that we get only once in every 5,000 years. So even if you get a slight disturbance when opposite sex is somewhat near you, you should immediately say to your mind, that is just a soul, not the body. That might be a girl, beautiful girl in this birth, but the soul might have taken a boy's body in her previous birth, because soul can take a boy's body and a girl's body alternately. Not only that, it is by becoming addicted to these 5 vices we have lost wealth, health, beauty, everything gradually. So it is by getting rid of them completely we can get back everything we have lost for the past 5,000 years. Keeping that in mind, no matter what the temptation is, you just say no to them. Say no to the thoughts that tempt you. Immediately change it using this knowledge. By falling into that temptation, even in your mind, then eventually you're going to bring that temptation into action, which is a sin. So you need to cut in the thought form itself by replacing that sinful thought with the thoughts of knowledge from the points of Murli, which is why we need to listen to Murli daily, and we need to remember God as a point of light all the time. So the place where God resides along with we souls is a golden red colored light world. So we need to remember God as a star shining in a golden red colored sky, as lovingly as Father, because He is the Father. He gives the inheritance that lasts for 5,000 years, especially the first 2,500 years with absolutely no sign of suffering. So that's the kind of inheritance we get from God just by remembering Him and His knowledge. Moreover, we should turn the blind eye to the world we live in. We should turn the deaf ear to the world we live in. All we need to see is the imperishable soul in everyone and the 5,000-year time cycle where the soul takes birth after birth, starting with happiness, ending with sorrow, and remembering God as much as possible. Only these three things we need to keep our mind busy with, because only these three things will enable us to regain everything we have lost over the span of 5,000 years. Not only having sex with somebody other than wife is a sin, but also having sex with your wife is a sin. Because in heaven, nobody will have sex. Nobody knows what sex is. Nobody wants to know what sex is. They don't get curious about each other's body, irrespective of the fact they look extremely beautiful. Because they were soul conscious, they were as pure as the newborn baby. That is why Jesus Christ says in the Bible that unless you become as pure as a child, you couldn't enter heaven. So that is the thing we need to do. It is by listening to God's Murli daily that we reprogram our mind into believing that sex itself is a sin, the number one sin that makes us lose everything God gave us in the beginning. By reprogramming our mind daily, we slowly come out of lust, even from our wife. It is only when you don't even lust your own wife, you can stop lusting other girls as well. Till then, as long as you believe sex is okay, then obviously you will start committing all sorts of sexual sins, like heterosexual sins, homosexual sins. Not only homosexual is a sin, even heterosexual, heterosex is also a sin. But without knowing that, poor pastors in America, they are just torturing the homosexuals, saying that what they are doing is sin. It is because they were heterosexuals in their past birth, their addiction to the sex God gave them the punishment of being a transgender, by which their sexual preference is frowned upon by the majority of the world. So only recently the society, that too only certain countries, accept homosexuals. Even then, people like these pastors, they continuously torture them. No matter what religion you belong to, the message in that scripture is for you, not for others. You need to remember that. We need to purify ourselves. We can say them to purify them. We can't insult them. But what that pastors in America do in public is insulting them as much as possible. It is totally against the teachings of Jesus Christ. Jesus said, looking at a woman lustfully itself is a prostitution. He doesn't say looking at women other than your wife is a prostitution. He just said looking at a woman is prostitution. Looking at her lustfully is a prostitution. Same applies with looking at a man lustfully. So, having sex with your wife is definitely a prostitution. In Quran, it is mentioned that you will get pure wives in heaven. Does that not imply that we are living with prostitute wives here? So what's the difference? Sex is the difference. There wouldn't be any sex in heaven. Then you might wonder how the population will increase if there is no sex. Well, it is through yogic power, that is the power of thought. Husband and wife, when they think of having a child together, the wife gets pregnant. There wouldn't be any sort of physical contact between them. So that is why the residents of heaven are worshipped as deities by Hindus till date. So Christians consider Jesus Christ to be born purely. Whether or not that is true, but in heaven everybody takes birth purely. That is why Hindus have 33 million gods. So we need to listen to such programs, such TV programs constantly, so that we will reprogram our mind against falling for lust. And also keep visiting videos like this so that you have that mental support needed to come out of sex altogether. And also, it is very, very essential to read the teachings of God, Murli, daily, and also churn over the points of Murli throughout the day. Only then you will not enter the waste thoughts or the lustful thoughts from the external world. And also you need to prevent yourself from everything that tempts you, like the television, internet, friends. You need to protect yourself because it is, after all, your responsibility. World doesn't care about you. It is you who has to take care of yourself. By surrounding yourself with good friends, by surrounding yourself with materials that gives you the positive thoughts against sex. It should be better if you do it with your wife together, so that when you both come out of sex, you will not be afraid of whether or not your spouse is going to cheat you in the future, because you know for sure they have conquered lust. So that itself will give you peace of mind. Just think for a second. Women, they are afraid of their husband having sex with their own daughters. It is happening now. It might not happen, but still it's going on in their mind. They have already got disturbed because the soul has become so weak. It has lost all its power after taking birth after birth for 5,000 years. So the only way to fill the soul with its power is to remember God as much as possible, and also by churning over the divine knowledge of God. It is the only way to fill the soul with its power. So don't be careless. If you don't keep your mind busy with the remembrance of God and the knowledge of God, you will obviously be filling your mind with the corrupted thoughts, with the vicious thoughts, which pulls you into action. And eventually you will end up committing crime, punishable crime. And this is exactly what Bible warns against in the chapter of Lot, where his daughters have sex with him. It means they become so addicted that they don't bother about any relation. But in Bible they convince us by saying that is the only way to give rise to the offspring. No, that's not the case. So if you don't want that to happen to you or to any of your family members or friends, please do share this video with them and make them the direct child of God by listening to Murli daily and remembering God as a point of light, by considering yourself to be the soul first. So all you need to do is to remind yourself constantly that you are a soul, the son of the Supreme Soul. So I'm a point of light. My father is also a point of light. He is an embodiment of love. I'm also an embodiment. I'm becoming an embodiment of love. He is an ocean of peace and purity. I'm also the ocean of purity and peace. So you need to constantly program your mind like this. And also keep your family members busy with these things. And keep your home free of all the carriers of negativity like television and so on, and filthy magazines. Just keep them out of reach. Don't even bring it to your home, either to adults or to children. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching this video for this long, and if you like this video, hit on the thumbs up button and leave your valuable comments suggesting me what to change or what not to change, and share this video with your friends and family members, because everybody is wicked souls. So it is our duty to spread this message so that they can save themselves and the society as a whole. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Thanks again for watching.